there's lots of jargon and definitions and concepts about what the principles are. But if I was to cut through all of that, what I would say would be a paradox, and that is, it gives an empirical, objective fact, a scientific fact as to how we create our logic of experience. And that logic allows us to fall in to the spiritual, into the great oneness of all things and of things that always has been, always will be, and always is. And I know that's a paradox because I'm talking about logic and I'm talking about the spiritual. But when I say spiritual, I'm really talking about the formless nature of life. And the logic to me takes me to the formless. Now in the past, I spent an awful long time meditating and doing various things to calm my mind, to access this great resource behind life. But I didn't have the logic of how I got there. I kind of fell into it by mistake quite often. And when I talk about the logic, really, it is really, really simple, and that is, we are only ever experiencing our thinking about life. It's impossible to experiencing out there without generating a perception of out there from in here first. Or in simpler terms, out there happens via our own thinking. Not that I can think of a mirror and a mirror will appear out of nowhere, meaning that there's a mirror, that's an objective reality that everyone can see, but our perception of that mirror is determined by our thinking. And I've been hearing this for 9 years. Our thinking creates our feeling. Our thinking creates our feeling. Almost like a mantra repetition. And my understanding of this goes deeper and deeper and deeper every year I'm around this, to the point where I'm not seeing so much as the person, the situation, the environment. I'm really seeing my thought construct of the person, my thought construct of the environment, my thought construct of the situation. And that uncovers just unlimited potential as a human being, because no longer are you victim to circumstance, no longer are you victim to others' moods, no longer are you a victim to the environment that you're in. From that perspective, it's a bit like you're sitting on a shoreline, you're being bolstered and whipped around and crashed by the waves. With the understanding of the three principles, which is also called an inside-out paradigm, is that you see your part to play in your experience of life, meaning you see your thinking creating in front of your eyes. And so instead of the waves of life crashing against you, you are the waves of life. It's your nature to be the waves of life. There's nothing so much to crash against you, because there is no you, there's just the waves, there's just the nature. And when I first came across this, I really thought this was another approach, another concept, another good idea, another great way of helping myself, helping other people. And what I'm finding now is that it isn't an approach, it isn't a thing, it's not a destination to go towards, it is literally being, literally being the experience of life. It's not doing the experience of life better, it is being the experience of life yourself. And when you understand its nature, you're in alignment with it because you are it. And as a byproduct, your life's so much easier. You have a calmer mind, you're more peaceful. Sometimes I well up with good feeling and love for someone I don't know that I can walk past in the street. It's what's there when you're not. It's your innate human capacity. And that capacity is a neutral energy, but for us humans we flavour it by calling it love or compassion or tolerance or understanding. It's within everybody and it's within us and it's unbreakable and it's infinite. And the way for me, at least, not to reach it, but to just be in what I already am, without the contamination of my own thinking, is understanding the logic of how you get there. And when I say logic,